Did you know that in 2019, a group of scientists created an artificial sun? They fused hydrogen atoms together to make helium and released a tremendous amount of energy. It was 30 times more powerful than our sun. They only kept it going for 5 minutes because they didn't want to melt the device that they put it in. But if they had left it going longer, the energy from the sun would have kept pouring out. Sometimes we feel like that. We feel like there is just an endless wall of energy inside of us. We can keep going forever. That's what I thought when I was younger. When I was younger, I used to think of myself as this fireball energy who could do anything, and then life happened. Now I'm tired all the time, but when I remember the reason why I started my channel, I get this incredible rush of energy. That's what this phrase is about, the flame remembering its origin. It's about remembering why we started something, why we have a particular passion or interest, and how that can re-energize us. It's also about the opposite. It's about the danger of forgetting where that energy came from and how that can lead to destruction. You see, that artificial sun that I told you about at the beginning of this video, it needs to be constantly fed with hydrogen fuel. If it isn't, it will go out. But too much fuel can cause it to explode. So it's really important to get the balance just right. It's the same with us humans. We need to remember our origins, the things that gave us life, that inspired us, that made us who we are today. But too much of those things can also be destructive. You see, I'm a storyteller. My whole life I've been a storyteller. I loved reading fantasy novels. I wrote stories. I made films with my friends. I would do anything to tell stories. That's why I started this channel. But if I watch too many videos on this channel, it becomes a chore. I start to see YouTube as this big job that's taking over my life. And then I lose the inspiration to make new videos. So what do? Well, I take some time away from the channel. I take some time away from social media. I remind myself why I started this channel in the first place. I go back to what inspired me in the first place. And when I do that, I come back feeling refreshed, ready to go again. This is actually one of the reasons why I love being a coach, because I get to help people discover their origins, rediscover the things that inspired them to become who they are. And then I get to help them build a life around those things. When someone remembers what lit their flame in the first place, they become unstoppable. The problem is that many people never discover their flame, or they let other people snuff it out. And this is a tragedy because everyone has something that inspires them, something that gives them life. And when they discover that thing, they can accomplish incredible things. A long time ago, there was a young man named Pygmalion. He was an ordinary guy, but one day he met this amazing woman named Galatea. She was beautiful and smart and funny and kind, and he fell in love with her. But she didn't feel the same way about him. Pygmalion was devastated. He didn't know what to do. He felt like his life was meaningless without her. Then one day he had an idea. He went to a wise woman and asked her for help. The wise woman listened to his story, and then she told him that she could help him, but it would require a sacrifice. Pygmalion didn't care. He was willing to do anything to be with Galatea. So the wise woman told him to go to the temple and make a statue of the woman he loved. Then she gave him a magic lamp and told him to rub it every day until it glowed hot. Pygmalion spent months making the statue. He put all of his love and affection into it. And when it was finished, it was the most beautiful statue in the world. He took it to the temple and placed it on the altar. Then he rubbed the lamp until it glowed red hot. And as he rubbed, he made a wish. He wished for Galatea to become real. And then something amazing happened. The statue began to glow. And as it glowed, it grew. And before Pygmalion's eyes, Galatea became flesh and blood. Pygmalion was overjoyed. His wish had come true. But after a while, he began to notice that Galatea was different. She wasn't the same woman he had loved from afar. She was cold and distant and unfeeling. Pygmalion was heartbroken. He realized that he had made a terrible mistake. In his quest to possess Galatea, he had lost everything. This is the story of Pygmalion and Galatea, which illustrates the danger of forgetting our origins. When we forget what lit our flame, we can lose ourselves. We can become obsessed with things that don't matter. And in the process, we can lose everything that makes us human. So what's the solution? How do we keep our flames burning brightly? Well, the answer is simple, but it's not easy. We need to keep our origins close to us. We need to remember what inspired us, what gave us life. And we need to build our lives around that. That's all I have for you today. As always, thanks for watching. And remember, when the flame remembers its origin, the warrior chooses between legacy and destruction.